Hi, I'm EllaAradia and welcome to your Psychic Tarot love reading. This reading is for my Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn earth signs. The timestamps are below, where we'll be exploring your person's hidden feelings for you. This is a love reading and it's for those of you who are already connected with someone, even if you are currently in no contact with your person. This will be a very specific message, so it may not resonate for all of you. If it feels right, then it's meant for you. Otherwise, you may want to check out the readings for your other placements. So Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. And before we jump in, a big thank you to all of you who are supporting my channel by liking and subscribing. So if you enjoy this reading and you haven't already done that, please do. It helps the channel out a lot. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and then you can get notified when the next videos are up. So Taurus, let's jump in. I always like to tune into the energies a little bit first, Taurus, before I start pulling cards. I'm seeing you moving on from someone, and I do feel like it's something that's quite challenging for you. I do feel a lot of sadness and heartbreak. Somebody who I really do feel that you saw the potential in this connection, in this person, but they just weren't quite there yet. And sometimes it's the hardest goodbye, isn't it? When you love someone, but you know that that person perhaps can't give you what you really want, what you need. With your overall energies, we have the Wheel of Fortune. This is a card of change, of very often karmic connections, I feel. And sometimes the Wheel of Fortune comes in to set us on a different path. And it's all about trusting that process, I feel, Taurus. So your person's view of you, the Three of Cups, their feelings towards you, the Two of Wands. You may have given this person an ultimatum, is what I'm feeling here. You may have given them, a choice to make with that Two of Wands. Their intentions towards you, the Queen of Pentacles. Your feelings towards your person, the Eight of Wands. There's definitely a need for some kind of change here. There is a need for, things to either go to the next level or it is time to complete itself, is what I'm feeling. Now, with their view of you, we have the Three of Cups. This is often a card of reconciliation. Sometimes it can represent third-party energies. And it may well be that your person has a choice to make right now. You may have been dealing with someone, what I'm feeling here, who is maybe on the cusp of wanting a deeper love, wanting a long-term commitment, but maybe not quite ready to give up their independence in some way. So, that's not going to resonate for all of you. Like, for some of you, there may be a third-party influence here. You may have been dealing with someone who has, let's say, a little bit of a player energy. And you see that potential in the connection. And the choice that they may need to be making, could actually be a relationship choice here, a choice between you and somebody else potentially. And for others, this is going to be more about, stepping up to a deeper commitment. It's not always, a third party energy for everybody here. And you may have taken a step back because right at the beginning, that's what I saw here. I saw you moving on, walking away. And walking away from not so much, the person necessarily, but walking away from the way it was with that person. Because there is this energy I'm feeling around, you know, you really being in your power here and not settling for less. And, you know, you may be in no contact right now. And I feel it's to let that be there. That's the message I'm getting. You know, no contact is never an empty space. What it actually does is it gives, you know, the person that you're dealing with time to really get in touch with their true feelings, to really reflect on, you know, what do they really want moving forwards here. And, you know, sometimes if we keep putting our energy in someone else's space, it makes it difficult for them to do that. They need to also face the reality here, Taurus, of perhaps, you know, what life is actually like without you. And it may well be that, you know, this Queen of Pentacles here, they're beginning to see the value here. They're beginning to see, you know, your importance in their life. And there are these feelings I feel growing around wanting to nurture the connection here. They're seeing your worth, they're seeing your value. And, you know, that may not have been something that could have happened without that space. Sometimes people don't realize what they have until they're faced with losing it here. But I do feel on your side, you know, with your feelings towards this situation that, you know, some kind of action is needed here. Some kind of shift is needed in order to move forwards. Because I do feel like you're at the point of, you know, you can't wait around much longer for this person. You know, something needs to happen here. Something needs to change. Often this is a sign of, you know, communication channels opening, messages coming in. So if that's something that you're waiting for from your person here, I do feel that's going to happen for you. In your challenge, we have the Ace of Swords. Seeing the reality of a situation, you know, not being under any illusions here. And sometimes, you know, when we see the potential in someone, we get more kind of hooked into that than, you know, what is actually happening in the reality. So that's the universe just asking you to make sure you're seeing the whole picture here, Taurus. And with your hidden influence, we have the Knight of Swords. Fast-moving energy sometimes represents somebody coming into your life very quickly, leaving your life very quickly, often with quite a destructive energy. You know, so something may have gone down between the two of you here, because I just see the word, that ultimatum, you know, making some kind of, you know, some kind of move here that potentially, you know, could result in the completion or the closing up of this connection. With your advice from the universe, 10 of Cups, staying true to what you really want here, Taurus. You know, this is a card of happily ever after, your wishes granted, your dreams come true, emotional contentment. And, you know, in the guidance position, you know, that's why it's so important to not settle for less here. Stay true to what you really want, because I do feel, you know, this is a situation where, you know, your person is needing to step up here. They are needing to really let you know that, you know, they want to work on things and move things forward and really take things to the next level. And in your outcome, we have the Hermit. So taking a step back, you know, take a pause. You know, sometimes, you know, when there is a little bit of space between you and another person, you know, for many of us, it can bring up a lot of anxiety, and we want to bridge that gap. We want to fix things. But with the Hermit here, what this is saying is just let that space be there and use this time to, you know, go within and really tap into your inner wisdom. And that's the wisdom that you've gained from, you know, all of your past experiences, you know, through the soul lessons that have been learnt here. And, you know, just really staying connected to you. So let's get your person's hidden message for you. I do feel some of you are in a no contact situation here, which is making it even more anxious and, yeah, worrying somehow. So the hidden message is more for those of you who are in that type of situation. I regret lying to you. I love you. My life is not as together as it seems. I know I was a distraction from your pain. I feel you even though we are apart. So Taurus, I'm going to leave it there. You know, just give it a little bit more time. Just let that space be there. Give your person time to really reflect on everything. But it seems like, yeah, there is definitely an invitation there for them to step up. And to me, it feels like it's still something that they are in a little bit of a process with. So just give it a little bit more time and, you know, use this time to, you know, just work on yourself and stay true to what you really want from another person, from a relationship. So Virgo, let's move on. Virgo, let's see what we have for you. So Virgo, I always like to just tune into the energies first before I start pulling cards here. What I'm seeing is I'm seeing you in between the past and the future right now. I feel like something has recently come to a close in your past. In the last few months, like it doesn't feel like yesterday, it feels like a few months back, a few weeks or a few months. And I see new connections around you, but what I am seeing here is your energy is still very much caught up on this person in your past. And so there are these connections coming in around you, but somehow you're sort of seeing them, but you're not really, let's say, embracing them, because you're still caught up in the past here. So with your overall energies, we have the Four of Swords. Taking some time out, taking some time for you to, I feel like, you know, to reflect, to go within. It's also very much, I feel, a card of healing. And a way very often that, you know, we find our way back to ourselves. We reclaim our power, we restore our energies. I feel a lot of understanding comes, you know, through these moments of just stillness and just being with ourselves. And I definitely feel like that's been a bit of a challenge for many of you, understanding, you know, perhaps why things went down the way they did, getting things into context. Your person's view of you, we have the Nine of Pentacles. Their feelings towards you, the Two of Swords. I feel like this is an ex that we're looking at. Their intentions towards you, the Seven of Pentacles. Mixed energies I get from this, because when I see the Nine of Pentacles there as their view of you, this is really a card that kind of speaks to me of independence and being content, but in a way that you're kind of okay as you are. And with the Two of Swords here, with the Seven of Pentacles, I do feel that your person isn't maybe as sure as they may seem about the breakup with you. Because the Seven of Pentacles, it's about taking stock, reevaluating, looking at, you know, perhaps what they had with you, reassessing the situation. Because with the Two of Swords there, you know, that's a card of choice. And sometimes it can be a choice that, you know, we're avoiding facing, something we're avoiding seeing. But a difficult choice. And I feel like you're dealing with someone who maybe on the surface they come across as they're doing okay, they're confident, they're okay without you. But deep down inside, I'm not so sure about that, you know, with that Two of Swords there and the Seven of Pentacles. Your feelings towards your person, the Queen of Wands. So this is someone that you definitely still feel open to, someone that you are still very much attracted to, because this is fire energy, it's passion. Definitely a strong physical attraction there. And in your challenge, we have the Queen of Cups. Now, I feel that this is probably somebody that you had that great chemistry with, great physical connection. Definitely those sparks on that level between the two of you. But when I see the King of Cups there in the challenge, you know, this may be somebody who struggles to perhaps open up on an emotional level to you. And that emotional support, creating that safe container for you in that way, I feel was something that was maybe missing from this connection. And, you know, that may have been quite an issue. You know, every time kind of problems may have come up, it may have been really difficult to actually communicate with this person. So with your hidden influence, we have the Eight of Swords. So feeling stuck, you know, feeling stuck in the past here, because I do feel you saw the potential, but somehow, you know, there was something missing from this connection, especially on an emotional level. With your advice from the universe, the Two of Pentacles, to me, this is a message about getting your priorities in order. I feel like this is about listening to your heart here with the Eight of Swords. And, you know, because I do feel you're quite stuck in your head. You're quite stuck in the past here. And, you know, it is a little bit challenging for you to move forwards because of this. But the invitation of this card is about listening to your heart. And, you know, listening to the guidance of your heart and what it is telling you, and really, you know, not settling for less here, just really trusting in that and making sure you're not compromising yourself, getting your priorities in order. You know, what is really important to you in a connection, in another person? What do you really want here? But I do feel your person's conflicted here. I do feel that, you know, they also felt something deeper with you. But there's something that's a bit guarded about this person. And so, you know, I do have a little bit of a caution here as to whether, you know, are they really able to give you what you truly want long term? And in your outcome, we have the Sun. So to me, I feel like this is a message of just staying true to you and remembering what you deserve here. You know, staying strong in those energies of, you know, your worth, your value, what you really deserve. And if you can just do that, I do feel that, you know, love is coming in for you, whether it is you know, your ex returning, stepping up for you, or whether it's somebody new. I feel like it's just about, you know, not settling for less, just staying true to what you really deserve and just really trusting in that. Trusting that it will lead you, you know, to what you really want here. So let's get your person's hidden message for you. We will be together again. So this is more for those of you that are in a no contact situation. I love you unconditionally. We need to let each other go. So that may refer more to, you know, the way things were in the past. For some of you, it might be a completion though. It was my fault, but I blamed you. I knew exactly what I was doing. So Virgo, I'm going to leave it there. We are going to move on to Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn, let's see what we have for you. Okay, Capricorn, let's dive in. So I always like to tune into the energies first, Capricorn, just to see what comes through. I'm getting a really great feeling already. I feel like some of you have been, you know, waiting for something more from your person here, waiting for a commitment, for things to go to the next level in some way. And with your overall energies, we have the Ace of Wands. I feel like this is a renewal in your connection. You know, things may have got a little bit challenging. You may have hit, you know, some kind of tower moment with your person where things, you know, perhaps started to kind of fall apart a little bit, or there was a kind of a drifting apart because you were needing something more. But with the Ace of Wands there, I feel like that's some kind of renewal, that's some kind of fresh start in your relationship. Your person's view of you, the Three of Cups, reconciliation, their feelings towards you, the Three of Pentacles. And I'm kind of reading this two ways already. Their intentions towards you, the Ace of Cups, a new offer of love. I'm definitely feeling for many of you, your person is wanting some kind of fresh start with you. And, you know, the Three of Cups, it speaks all about reconciliation. And with the Three of Pentacles, this is about working together as a team, moving forwards. It's about growing together and really, you know, making that commitment to work on, you know, whatever issues come up between the two of you, because this is also a card that speaks of, you know, working towards the long term here. And with the Ace of Cups, an emotional renewal, a fresh start, an offer of love, a new beginning. Now, for some of you, because we've got a lot of threes here, Three of Cups, Three of Pentacles, it's not going to resonate for all of you. Some of you may have been dealing with, you know, some kind of third party situation. And the third party, it's not always a person. Like sometimes it can be, you know, a work situation or something else that's kind of, you know, a third party that's kind of impacting the connection in some way. You know, you may have been dealing with someone that had, you know, a lot of work commitments, didn't have enough time to really give you, which could have become quite an issue. Your feelings towards your situation, the Page of Cups, I like this, a lot of new beginnings, openness, emotional openness, and an openness to, you know, something that, you know, really does feel real and authentic this time. because I do feel things are, you know, about to really go to the next level here with your person. And in the challenge, we have the Eight of Wands. There may still be, you know, a no contact situation going on here. And I always, you know, I always feel that these moments of space or separation are sometimes very necessary in order for, you know, not just your person, but you also to really get in touch with your true feelings and to really work out, you know, what do you want moving forwards. And, you know, it can bring up a lot of anxiety, but I feel like it's always something that's very necessary. Your hidden influence, the Queen of Pentacles. So lessons in, you know, self-worth and value, you know, really knowing your value here, Capricorn, and nurturing yourself in that way. Looking after your needs, you know, whether that's emotionally, you know, or, you know, in your environment. Your advice from the universe, the Lovers, a choice to be made, or a choice that, some kind of choice that affects your relationship. And this is all about making a choice that is truly aligned with your heart and your true values. And it's not about what other people want. It's about you staying true to you. You know, the Lovers speaks of, you know, deep connections, soulmate connections. And, you know, it really does feel like there's something significant in that sense around your connection with this person. You know, a deep connection, a soulmate connection. And yes, you may have hit a tower moment, but, you know, with these soulmate connections, we often come into each other's lives to help us, you know, both learn lessons. And there is an invitation here to really get past, you know, get through the issues that have come up and work together. And the invitation is always about healing and growing and evolving and, you know, going to those deeper levels of connection. And in your outcome, we have strength, facing, you know, any fears or insecurities. You know, any blocks maybe that might be on your side here, Capricorn, that might be holding you back, you know, from connecting more deeply with your person. You know, with strength there, you know, it is also a message to let you know that you do have the strength to get through this. And just make sure that, you know, there isn't anything on your side that might potentially be holding you back from this connection. So let's get your person's hidden message for you. So the hidden message is more for those of you that are in some kind of no contact situation. You speak to me through music. I feel you leaving me behind. I'm starting to understand our connection. That's that soulmate connection, that sense of knowing. I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson. So someone's reflecting, someone's learning, someone's beginning to understand. I replay our conversations over and over. So Capricorn, I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, no matter what comes through in a reading, moving forwards, always trust what feels right for you. So thanks so much for being here, and I wish you a great month ahead.